Imagine this. You're trapped inside a cave. It's been snowing for weeks. You can't hunt. You can't leave. You have absolutely nothing to do. So what do you build? The answer? Changed human history? Today, if you're bored, you grab your phone. You scroll. You watch something. 30,000 years ago, there was no phone. There was no book. There was nothing. And what people did with that nothing may have helped build civilization itself. Let's talk about winter. The real kind. The kind our ancestors lived through. No hunting, because snow covered every track. No traveling far, because frostbite could take a finger in under an hour. And in the far north, the sun barely came up for weeks at a time. Just gray light. Then darkness again. So people stayed put. 15, 20 people, packed into one shelter around a single fire, for days, sometimes for months. Think about that. No plans, no errands, no entertainment, just people, sitting together, with empty hours stretching out in front of them. Most of us can't sit through one boring afternoon without reaching for a screen. So what happens to people who spend months like this? Archaeologists think they found part of the answer, and it was buried in Russia. The site is called Sunghir, and what archaeologists found there was strange. A man, buried flat on his back, his body covered in red ochre. Around him, almost 3,000 tiny ivory beads, not scattered. They had once been sewn onto clothing that disappeared thousands of years ago. Next to him, 2 children, buried facing each other, tabard in more than 10,000 beads, along with ivory spears, carved discs, and a small pendant shaped like a mammoth. Nobody creates something like that in a single afternoon. But the beads weren't even the strangest part. Here's the part that changes everything. Not the bodies. The time. Researchers estimate that each bead took about an hour to make. Not to design, to actually make. Find a piece of mammoth ivory. Shape it by hand beside a fire. Carefully drill a hole without cracking it. Smooth every edge. 1 bead. 1 hour. Now imagine making thousands. 3,000 for 1 person. More than 10,000 for 2 children. That's thousands of hours of work, spent making something that couldn't feed anyone, couldn't keep anyone warm, couldn't fight off a wolf. So why do it? Because for once, survival wasn't asking anything from them. The ground was frozen. The sky was dark. There was nothing left to hunt, nowhere left to go. The thing that should have been the hardest part of their year, being stuck, being bored, may have made all of this possible. But wait, why beads? Why not more weapons? Why not something they could actually use? Here's where it gets interesting. Look closer at Sunghir, and the beads stop looking like jewelry. The careful placement of the bodies, the red ochre, the incredible amount of work. This looks like something much bigger. It looks like a society beginning to organize itself, who mattered, who belonged, who was remembered. Some researchers also found possible signs of early counting, maybe even a simple lunar calendar. The evidence is still debated. But if it's true, the people at Sunghir weren't just passing time. They may have been organizing it. So this was never really a story about beads. It was one of humanity's earliest steps toward culture. And it happened because a group of people had nothing to do except sit together in the dark. Modern connection. Now, here's the surprising part. This isn't just ancient history. It's still happening. In Longyearbyen, Norway, the sun disappears for months every winter. Scientists once assumed that kind of darkness would be psychologically devastating. And for some people, it is. Studies suggest roughly 1 in 10 people experience mild seasonal depression. But the full story is more complicated. At one Arctic research station, people's mood stayed surprisingly stable through the dark season, and residents of Longyearbyen describe something unexpected. Winter doesn't isolate them. It brings them together. Everyone is indoors anyway. So people gather. Climbing gyms fill up. Dinner tables get crowded. Neighbors become friends. Maybe darkness doesn't always push people apart. Sometimes it pulls them closer. So here's where this lands. For most of human history, people were handed long, dark, and there and hape arty, empty stretches of time. And instead of falling apart, they built things. Beads that took thousands of hours. Burials that hinted at an entire social system. Maybe even one of humanity's first attempts to measure time itself. None of it happened during the busy season. It happened during the quiet season, the boring season, the hours with nothing scheduled, the exact thing we spend so much energy trying to escape today. We treat boredom like a problem, something to fix immediately, usually with a screen. But for most of human history, that same restless feeling may have been the raw material for some of our biggest ideas. The people at Sunghir had no phones, no internet, no endless stream of distractions. They had a fire, each other, and more empty hours than they knew what to do with. And somehow, out of that silence, they helped build the foundations of civilization. So next time you're sitting somewhere with absolutely nothing to do, maybe don't reach for your phone. Sit with the silence. See what your mind does with it. Because 30,000 years ago, boredom didn't waste time. It helped build civilization. This is Mind Canvas, where history explains the mind, and the mind explains history.